The storm rolled in like a dark omen, shrouding the small town of Ravenswood in an impenetrable veil of rain and darkness. It was as if the very heavens themselves were conspiring against the residents, who huddled indoors, praying for the tempest to pass. For Emily Wilson, a single mother of two, the storm was just the beginning of a long and treacherous journey. Her children, Jack and Lily, clung to her, their eyes wide with fear as the wind howled outside, threatening to rip the roof from their modest home. As the storm raged on, Emily's thoughts turned to the local legend of the Golden Chalice, a fabled artifact said to bring prosperity and good fortune to the town. It was said to be hidden deep within the nearby forest, guarded by ancient spirits and treacherous terrain. Emily had always been skeptical of the legend, but with the town's economy in shambles and her own family struggling to make ends meet, she was desperate for a solution. She made a vow to herself to find the Golden Chalice, no matter the cost. As the storm finally began to subside, Emily set out into the forest, her children in tow. The air was heavy with the scent of wet earth and decaying leaves, and the silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the occasional snap of a twig or the distant rumble of thunder. Emily pressed on, driven by a fierce determination to provide for her family. She had always been a woman of honor and duty, and she saw this quest as a way to prove herself, not just to her children, but to the entire town. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, Emily began to notice strange symbols etched into the trees. They seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Her children, too, seemed to sense the darkness, clinging to her hand as they walked. Suddenly, the trees parted, and they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient stone pedestal, upon which rested a small, intricately carved box. With trembling hands, Emily opened the box, revealing a golden chalice that shone with an otherworldly light. She felt a surge of triumph and pride, knowing that she had finally found the artifact. But as she reached for the chalice, a voice boomed from the shadows, warning her away. Emily, undeterred, grasped the chalice, and as she did, the forest seemed to erupt into chaos. The symbols on the trees flared to life, and the air was filled with an unearthly scream. As they stumbled back through the forest, the chalice clutched tightly in Emily's hand. The townspeople emerged from their homes, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. They seemed to be under some sort of mind control, and they moved with a jerky, unnatural gait. Emily realized, too late, that the Golden Chalice was not a blessing, but a curse. It was said to bring prosperity, but at a terrible cost. The very souls of the townspeople. As the townspeople closed in, their eyes fixed on Emily and her children, she knew that she had made a terrible mistake. She had unleashed a horror beyond her wildest imagination, and now she was faced with the very real possibility of losing everything she had fought for. The chalice, once a symbol of hope and prosperity, now seemed to burn with an evil intensity, as if it was feeding off the very life force of the town. In a desperate bid to save her children, Emily flung the chalice to the ground, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. The townspeople, freed from their mind control, stumbled backward, confused and disoriented. But as Emily turned to flee, she saw something that made her blood run cold. The symbols on the trees were still pulsing with energy, and the air was still heavy with the scent of decay. The curse, it seemed, was far from broken, and as the darkness closed in around her, Emily realized that she had only just begun to understand the true horror that lurked in the heart of Ravenswood.